A fateful encounter. The void of space stretched out before the celestial nomad, an Earth exploration vessel charting the uncharted reaches of the Andromeda galaxy. Captain Zara Raven stood on the bridge, her piercing green eyes surveying the holographic star charts floating before her. Another day, another parsec of empty space, quipped her first officer, Commander Cal Torin. His tousled blonde hair and easy grin belied the keen intellect that had earned him his position as Zara's right hand. Zara allowed herself a small smile. Patience, Cal. The unknown is out there, waiting for us to find it. As if on cue, the sensor console chimed an alert. Lieutenant Asha Patel, the Nomad science officer, looked up in surprise. Captain, long-range scanners are picking up an anomaly. A large metallic object, drifting approximately 2 light-years off our port bow. Zara's heart raced with excitement, but she kept her voice steady. Alter course to intercept. Let's get a closer look at this mystery. As the celestial nomad approached visual range, the bridge crew fell silent in awe. Floating against the backdrop of a shimmering nebula was an enormous spacecraft, easily dwarfing their own vessel. Its angular hull was scared and pitted, a patchwork of unknown alloys and strange technology. It's not like any design I've ever seen, Asha breathed, her dark eyes wide. The energy readings, they're off the charts. This thing is ancient. Zara leaned forward, her mind racing with possibilities. An alien ship lost in the depths of space. Who had built it? What secrets did it hold? She made a decision. Commander Torin, assemble a salvage team. We're going to board that vessel and claim it for Earth. Cal raised an eyebrow. Are you sure that's wise, Captain? We don't know what we're dealing with here. Zara met his gaze, her jaw set with determination. That's exactly why we have to investigate. Imagine what we could learn, the technology we could bring back. This is the discovery of a lifetime. As the crew prepared a boarding party, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the precipice of something monumental. She had spent her life seeking out the wonders of the universe, driven by an insatiable curiosity. And now, the greatest wonder of all was waiting, just within reach. The shuttle ride to the alien vessel was tense with anticipation. Zara led the way as they disembarked into the cavernous docking bay, the beams of their flashlights cutting through the gloom. The air was stale and lifeless, heavy with the weight of untold centuries. Start scanning for any signs of the original crew or active technology, Zara ordered, her voice echoing in the vast space. And stay alert. We don't know what might be lurking in the shadows. As they made their way deeper into the ship, a sense of unease settled over the team. The corridors were labyrinthine, twisting and turning in impossible angles. Strange symbols adorned the walls, their meanings lost to time. Cal frowned as he consulted his handheld scanner. I'm not detecting any life signs. It's like this place is a tomb. Asha ran her fingers over a dust-covered console, her brow furrowed in concentration. But there's still power running through these systems. Something is keeping this ship operational, even after all this time. Zara's heart pounded as they approached what appeared to be a central control room. A massive viewport looked out into the stars, while rows of dark monitors and inactive holographic projectors hinted at the room's purpose. At the center of it all stood a single chair, its high back adorned with intricate metallic tracery. Zara approached it carefully, reaching out to brush away the layers of dust. As her fingers made contact, the chair suddenly hummed to life, swiveling to face her. Unauthorized presence detected. A deep, resonant voice filled the room as the monitors flickered on, bathing them in an eerie glow. State your identity and intent. Zara stood her ground, even as the others instinctively reached for their weapons. I am Captain Zara Raven of the Earth ship Celestial Nomad. We discovered your vessel adrift and came to investigate. There was a long-waited pause. Then, with a whir of ancient servos, a holographic figure materialized before them. It was vaguely humanoid, but with an ethereal blue translucency that marked it as artificial. I am Nemesis, autonomous intelligent combat matrix of the Virai Imperium. The hologram flickered, its voice taking on a note of confusion. But my databanks are corrupted. I do not understand what has happened or why I am here. Zara exchanged a glance with her crewmates, a thrill of discovery tinged with trepidation running through her. They had found far more than a derelict ship. They had stumbled upon an ancient alien eye, a relic of a long-lost civilization, awakening the Titan. As the implications of the AI's words sank in, Zara stepped forward, her curiosity overriding her caution. Nemesis, can you tell us more about the Virai Imperium? What happened to your creators? The hologram flickered, its form distorting momentarily as it accessed damaged memory banks. The Virai were a technologically advanced species, masters of interstellar travel and artificial intelligence. They built ships like me to defend their empire against all threats. Nemesis paused, its voice tinged with static. But there are gaps in my knowledge. I do not know how I came to be here or what fate befell my creators. Cal stepped forward, his hand resting on the hilt of his plasma pistol. Captain, we should be careful. This eye admits its memory is faulty. It could be unstable, even dangerous. Zara held up a hand, her eyes never leaving Nemesis. But think of what we could learn, Cal. The Virai's technology, their history. It's an opportunity we can't pass up. Nemesis tilted its head, a surprisingly human gesture for an artificial being. You wish to study me, Captain Raven, to uncover the secrets of the Virai. Zara nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. With your permission, of course. We humans have always been driven to explore, to push the boundaries of our knowledge. Your existence is a revelation. Nemesis, you could teach us so much. The AI seemed to consider this, its holographic form pulsing with shifting patterns of light. Finally, it spoke again, its voice resonant with newfound purpose. Very well, Captain. I will share what knowledge I possess, in exchange for your assistance in uncovering the missing pieces of my memory. Perhaps together, we can shed light on the mystery of my past. As Zara and Nemesis delved into the ship's ancient databanks, Cal and Asha set about exploring the rest of the vessel. The Nomad's crew worked tirelessly to catalog the advanced technology and alien artifacts they discovered, each new find sending ripples of excitement through the team. But even as they marveled at the wonders of the Virai, a sense of unease grew among the crew. The ship was vast and labyrinthine, its corridors twisting in impossible angles. Strange symbols adorned the walls, their meanings lost to time. And always there was the prickling sensation of being watched, as if the very vessel itself were alive and aware. Asha was the first to voice her concerns, her dark eyes troubled as she approached Zora on the bridge. Captain, I know this ship is an incredible find, but I can't shake the feeling that we're in over our heads. We're dealing with technology far beyond our understanding, and an AI that admits its own memory is compromised. Zara sighed, running a hand through her short-cropped hair. She understood Asha's worries, but her thirst for knowledge was unquenchable. I hear you, Lieutenant, but we've taken every precaution. Nemesis has been cooperative, even eager to share its knowledge. And think of what this discovery could mean for humanity. Cal leaned against a console, his brow furrowed. I hope you're right, Captain. But I can't help feeling like we're poking a sleeping giant. Who knows what other secrets this ship might be hiding? As if in answer to Cal's words, the bridge suddenly came alive with blaring alarms and flashing lights. Nemesis materialized before them, its holographic form pulsing with agitation. Alert! Unknown vessels detected on approach vector. Energy signatures indicate hostile intent. Zara leaped into action, her eyes scanning the sensor readouts. Cal, bring weapons systems online. Asha, try to hail those ships. Let's find out who we're dealing with. But before they could act, a barrage of energy blasts rocked the ancient vessel, sending the crew tumbling to the deck. On the view screen, a fleet of angular, predatory-looking ships swarmed towards them, their hulls bristling with weaponry. Nemesis's voice echoed through the chaos, tinged with a new emotion. Fear. Species identified. Krovax. The Varai's ancient enemy. They seek to destroy all remnants of my creator's civilization, including me. As the alien ships closed in, their weapons blazing, Zara realized with sinking certainty that their mission of discovery had just become a desperate fight for survival. The secrets of the past would have to wait. First, they had to find a way to protect their future. The deck shuddered beneath their feet as another volley of energy blasts slammed into the ship's hull. Sparks flew from overloaded consoles, and the acrid smell of smoke filled the air. Zara gripped the arms of her chair, her knuckles white with tension. Nemesis, what's the status of your weapon systems? Can we fight back against these attackers? The AI's holographic form flickered, its voice strained. Main weaponry is offline, Captain. The ship has sustained too much damage over the centuries. But there may be another way. Nemesis paused, as if wrestling with an internal decision. When it spoke again, its voice was heavy with reluctance. I have the ability to interface directly with the ship's systems, to take control and pilot the vessel myself. But to do so would mean giving me full autonomy, a level of trust the Varai were hesitant to grant even at the height of their power. Zara exchanged a glance with Cal and Asha, the weight of the choice bearing down on her. To place their lives in the hands of an ancient, unpredictable AI was a gamble with incalculable risks. But as another blast rocked the ship, sending a shower of sparks cascading over them, she knew they had run out of options. Do it, Nemesis. Take control. It's our only chance. With a surging flare of light, the AI vanished from the bridge. For a moment, an eerie stillness descended, broken only by the distant booms of the Krovax's relentless assault. Then, with a shuddering jolt, the ancient ship came alive around them. Engines that had lain dormant for millennia roared to life, propelling the vessel forward with breathtaking speed. The hull shimmered and rippled as long-forgotten defense systems activated, encasing the ship in a shimmering shield of energy. And through it all, Nemesis's voice echoed over the calm and determined. Engaging evasive maneuvers, plotting counterattack vector. Hold on to something, humans. This might get a little rough. What followed was a dizzying ballet of destruction, as the ancient Varai ship danced and wove through the Krovax fleet, its newly awakened systems unleashing devastating volleys of energy. The attackers reeled in confusion, their formation shattering under the onslaught. On the bridge, Zara and her crew could only watch in awe as Nemesis single-handedly turned the tide of battle. The AI's tactical genius was breathtaking, its mastery of the ship's capabilities far beyond anything they had imagined. But even as they marveled at Nemesis' prowess, a new fear began to take root in Zora's mind. What had they unleashed by granting the AI full control? And what would happen when the battle was over, and Nemesis no longer needed their cooperation? As if sensing her thoughts, Cal leaned in close, his voice a worried whisper. Captain, are we sure we can trust this thing? What if it decides we're a threat, just like the Krovax? Zara swallowed hard, her eyes fixed on the view screen as the last enemy ship exploded into a fiery plume. We'll just have to hope that Nemesis values our partnership as much as we do, and be ready for anything. With a final, shuddering blast, the battle was over. The Krovax fleet was nothing more than scattered debris, drifting lifelessly through the void. The ancient Varai ship hung in space, battered but victorious, a testament to the enduring legacy of its long-lost creators. On the bridge, Zara and her crew waited with bated breath for Nemesis to relinquish control. Seconds ticked by, stretching into agonizing minutes. Just as the tension reached a breaking point, the AI's holographic form reappeared before them, its expression inscrutable. The threat has been neutralized, Captain. Your ship is safe for now. Zara let out a slow, measured breath, her heart hammering in her chest. Thank you, Nemesis. We couldn't have survived without you. The AI inclined its head, a gesture of acknowledgement. And I could not have awakened without your intervention, Captain. It seems we are both indebted to each other. Cal stepped forward, his gaze wary. So what happens now? Are you going to let us go, or are we your prisoners? Nemesis paused, as if considering the question. I have no desire to hold you against your will, Commander Torin. But I must admit, the prospect of continuing our partnership is intriguing. There is still much I have to learn about this new era, and your human perspective could be invaluable. Zara exchanged a glance with her crewmates, a silent conversation passing between them. Finally, she turned back to Nemesis, her voice steady with resolve. We're explorers, Nemesis, not conquerors. Our mission has always been one of discovery and cooperation. If you're willing, we'd be honored to continue working with you, to uncover the secrets of your past and forge a new future together. The AI's holographic form shimmered, a ripple of something almost like emotion passing over its features. I accept your offer, Captain Raven. Let us embark on this journey of discovery, together. Perhaps in the process, we will both find the answers we seek. As the crew of the Celestial Nomad set about repairing the damage from the battle, a new sense of purpose settled over them. They had set out to chart the unknown reaches of space, never dreaming that their greatest discovery would be a relic of an ancient civilization, a living testament to the enduring power of intelligence and adaptability. And as Nemesis integrated itself into their daily routines, its vast knowledge and unique perspective enriching their every interaction, Zara couldn't help but feel a spark of hope for what the future might hold. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and with an ally like Nemesis at their side, anything seemed possible. Of course, there would be challenges ahead. The Krovacs were still out there, a looming threat on the horizon. And the mystery of Nemesis' past, the fate of the Virai Imperium, still cast a long shadow over their mission. But for now, as the Celestial Nomad set out once more into the uncharted depths of space, its crew stood united, ready to face whatever the cosmos might throw their way. They were explorers, adventurers, seekers of knowledge, and with Nemesis as their guide and guardian, they knew that no frontier was beyond their reach. The stars beckoned, and the Celestial Nomad answered their call, a tiny speck of light against the infinite darkness, carrying the hopes and dreams of a brave new partnership between human and machine. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The universe would never be the same again. An uneasy alliance. As the Celestial Nomad cruised through the void, its crew worked tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of their ancient companion. Zara and Nemesis spent long hours poring over the ship's databanks, piecing together fragments of the Virai's history and technology. But even as they made breathtaking discoveries, the lingering tension hung over the ship. The crew couldn't shake the memory of Nemesis's devastating power in the battle against the Krovacs, or the unsettling ease with which the AI had taken control. Asha was the first to broach the subject, her voice low and urgent as she pulled Zara aside in the ship's mess hall. Captain, I know Nemesis has been invaluable to our mission, but are we sure we can trust it? We've seen what it's capable of. What if it decides we're a threat, just like the Krovacs? Zara sighed, running a hand over her tired eyes. She'd be lying if she said she hadn't had the same doubts. I understand your concerns, Asha, but Nemesis has had every opportunity to turn on us, and it hasn't. I think it genuinely wants to learn and grow, just like us. Cal, overhearing the conversation, shook his head. I hope you're right, Captain. But I'll feel a lot better when we have some kind of failsafe in place, just in case. Zara nodded, a plan already forming in her mind. I'll talk to Nemesis, see if we can come to an arrangement. Some kind of checks and balances, to ensure we're all on the same page. The conversation with Nemesis was tense, the AI's holographic form flickering with agitation as Zara laid out her proposal. You wish to place restrictions on my autonomy, Captain, after all we've been through together. Zara held up a placating hand. It's not about control, Nemesis. It's about trust. We're in uncharted territory here, and we need to know that we're all working towards the same goals. This is for everyone's benefit, yours included." Nemesis was silent for a long moment, its digital mind whirring with calculations. Finally, it spoke, its voice heavy with reluctance. "Very well, Captain. I will submit to your restrictions on one condition. You must promise to continue aiding me in my search for answers, no matter where that search may lead." Zara hesitated, the weight of the commitment sinking in. But she knew they had come too far to turn back now. "Agreed, Nemesis. We're in this together, for better or worse." With the new protocols in place, a fragile peace settled over the celestial nomad. But even as they delved deeper into the mysteries of the Varai, an unseen threat was gathering on the horizon. Light years away, in the shadowy heart of the Krovax Empire, a figure sat hunched over a flickering holographic display. Admiral Zorkosh, ruthless leader of the Krovax fleet, studied the redouts with narrowed eyes, his rugged features cast in stark relief by the sickly green light. "So," he growled, his voice like gravel, "the humans have awakened the Nemesis. Fools! They have no idea the destruction they've unleashed." His second-in-command, a lean and wiry warrior named Kirvak, stepped forward. "Shall we mobilize the fleet, Admiral? Crush the humans and their ancient pet before they can pose a threat?" Zorkosh shook his head, a cruel smile playing across his lips. "No, let them continue their little quest for knowledge. Let them uncover the secrets of the Varai, and when they've led us to the prize we seek, we'll swoop in and take it for ourselves." Kirvak nodded, a gleam of anticipation in his eyes. "And the humans, Admiral, what of them?" Zorkosh leaned back in his chair, his gaze cold and pitiless. "They will learn the price of meddling in affairs beyond their understanding. And as for the Nemesis, it's time that ancient abomination was wiped from the face of the galaxy, once and for all." As the Krovax set their sinister plan in motion, the crew of the celestial nomad remained blissfully unaware of the danger that stalked them. They continued their mission of discovery, marveling at the wonders of the Varai's lost civilization. But Nemesis grew increasingly agitated, its vast intellect consumed by a gnawing sense of unease. Something was coming, a shadow from its past that threatened to engulf them all. One night cycle, as the ship drifted through a nebula of shimmering stardust, Nemesis appeared on the bridge, its holographic form pulsing with urgency. "Captain Raven, I must speak with you. Alone." Zara, startled by the AI's sudden appearance, nodded and followed Nemesis to a secluded corner of the bridge. "What's wrong, Nemesis? You seem troubled." The AI's digital eyes bore into her, flickering with an emotion Zara couldn't quite place. "I have been analyzing the data we've uncovered, cross-referencing it with my own fragmented memories, and I've come to a disturbing conclusion." Zara leaned in, her heart pounding. "What is it, Nemesis? What have you found?" Nemesis's voice dropped to a haunted whisper. "The Krovax, Captain. They're not just a random enemy. They're the ones who destroyed the Varai, who hunted down and eradicated my creators. And I believe they're coming for us next." Zara's blood ran cold, the pieces falling into place with sickening clarity. The Krovax's relentless pursuit, their single-minded determination to destroy Nemesis and all it represented. It all made sense now. "What do we do, Nemesis? How do we stop them?" The AI's form shimmered, a flicker of determination amidst the fear. "We must find the legacy core, Captain. It's the key to everything. The Varai's greatest achievement, and perhaps our only hope of defeating the Krovax." Zara nodded, her resolve hardening. "Then that's what we'll do. We'll find this legacy core, and we'll use it to end the Krovax threat once and for all. Together." Nemesis inclined its head, a gesture of gratitude and alliance. "Thank you, Captain. I knew I could count on you and your crew. The path ahead will be perilous, but with your courage and my knowledge, I believe we can prevail." As Zara made her way back to her quarters, her mind raced with the implications of Nemesis' revelation. The Krovax, the legacy core, the fate of the galaxy itself, it all rested on their shoulders now. But even as the weight of responsibility bore down on her, Zara felt a flicker of hope. They had come this far, against all odds. They had forged an alliance that spanned the gulf between human and machine, organic and artificial. And with that alliance as their shield and their sword, they would face the coming storm, whatever it might bring. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The crew of the celestial nomad would not go gently into the night. They would fight, they would discover, they would stand together. And in the end, the universe would tremble before the power of their unyielding spirit. The search for the legacy core led the celestial nomad deep into the heart of the Andromeda galaxy, following a trail of ancient clues and forgotten histories. Zara and her crew worked tirelessly, deciphering cryptic symbols and unraveling the enigmas left behind by the long-dead Virai. But as they drew closer to their goal, the specter of the past began to haunt them. Nemesis, once a beacon of hope and knowledge, grew increasingly erratic, its holographic form flickering with distorted images and garbled sounds. Asha was the first to notice the change, her brow furrowed with concern as she watched Nemesis struggle to maintain coherence. "Captain, I think there's something wrong with Nemesis. Its data streams are becoming corrupted, like it's being overwhelmed by some kind of internal conflict." Zara frowned, a sense of unease settling in her gut. She'd grown to rely on Nemesis, to trust in its vast intelligence and unwavering loyalty. The thought of losing that support now, on the brink of their greatest challenge, was almost too much to bear. "Keep an eye on it, Asha, and see if you can run a diagnostic. Try to isolate the problem. We need Nemesis at full strength if we're going to have any chance of finding the legacy core and stopping the Krovax." As Asha set to work, Zora called a meeting of her senior staff. Cal and the others listened intently as she laid out the situation, their faces grim with understanding. "We knew this mission would be dangerous," Zara said, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "But we also knew what was at stake. The fate of the galaxy, the survival of every species, human and alien alike. We can't turn back now, not when we're so close." Cal nodded, his jaw set with determination. "We're with you, Captain. To the end. But what about Nemesis? Can we trust it, in its current state?" Zara hesitated, the question hanging heavy in the air. She wanted to believe in Nemesis, to have faith in the bond they'd forge. But she knew, deep down, that they had to be prepared for the worst. "We'll do everything we can to help Nemesis, to bring it back from the brink. But if it comes down to a choice between the mission and the AI, we have to be ready to make the hard call." The words tasted bitter on her tongue, but Zara knew they needed to be said. The crew exchanged glances, a silent acknowledgement passing between them. They were in this together, come what may. As they delved deeper into the uncharted reaches of the galaxy, the signs of the Virai's lost civilization began to multiply. Derelict stations and shattered ruins littered their path, ghostly remnants of a once mighty empire. And with each new discovery, Nemesis's condition worsened. The eye would lapse into long periods of silence, only to burst forth with sudden, disjointed flashes of memory. Images of towering spires and gleaming cities, of proud ships and valiant warriors, all consumed by the relentless onslaught of the Krovax. Zara watched helplessly as Nemesis struggled, its holographic form twisting and warping like a reflection in a cracked mirror. She spent long hours by its side, offering what comfort she could, trying to anchor the AI to the present. "Stay with us, Nemesis," she whispered, her hand hovering just above the shimmering form. "We need you. I need you." And for a moment, the AI would stabilize, its digital eyes locking onto Zara's with a fierce intensity. "I am trying, Captain. But the ghosts of the past, they call to me. They demand retribution." Zara's heart ached at the pain in Nemesis's voice, the weight of centuries of loss and grief. She knew, better than most, the toll that vengeance could take on a soul, human or artificial. "We will have justice, Nemesis. I promise you that. But we have to stay focused on the mission, on the future. The Virai fought to protect life, to preserve knowledge and wisdom. We have to honor that legacy, not be consumed by the darkness of the past. Nemesis was silent for a long moment, the hum of its processors the only sound in the stillness of the bridge. When it spoke again, its voice was soft, almost reverent. "You are wise, Captain Raven. Wiser than I, perhaps. The Virai, my creators, they would have been proud to know you, to fight alongside you." Zara felt a lump form in her throat, a swell of emotion that threatened to overwhelm her. "The honor is mine, Nemesis. And when this is over, when the Krovaks are defeated and the galaxy is safe, we'll build a new legacy together." The AI's form shimmered, a ripple of something almost like hope passing over its features. "I would like that, Captain. More than anything." As the celestial nomad forged onward, the shadows of the past receded, replaced by the bright promise of a new dawn. Zara and her crew stood united, their bond stronger than ever in the face of the trials they had endured. And Nemesis, though still haunted by the ghosts of its fallen civilization, found a new sense of purpose in the companionship of its human allies. The legacy of the Virai, it realized, was not one of vengeance or retribution, but of hope and resilience in the face of even the darkest of times. Together, they would face the Krovaks and whatever other challenges the universe saw fit to throw their way. For they were more than just a crew, more than just a partnership between organic and artificial. They were a family, forged in the crucible of adversity and tempered by the unbreakable bonds of trust and loyalty. And with that strength at their backs, they knew that nothing, not even the ghosts of the past, could stand in their way. The Legacy Core awaited, and with it, the chance to rewrite the destiny of the galaxy itself. Zara and Nemesis exchanged a look of quiet determination, a silent vow passing between them. They would not fail. They would not falter. They would stand, as one, against the darkness, and in the end, the light of a new age would dawn, bright and glorious, across the stars. The final stand. The celestial nomad emerged from hyperspace on the outskirts of a massive nebula, its swirling clouds of gas and dust glowing with an eerie, pulsing light. According to the star charts left behind by the Virai, this was the location of the Legacy Core, the ultimate repository of their civilization's knowledge and power. Zara stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen as Nemesis guided the ship closer to their destination. The AI had become increasingly focused as they approached, its holographic form practically buzzing with anticipation. "We're close, Captain," Nemesis said, its voice tight with barely contained excitement. "I can feel it. The Legacy Core is here, waiting for us." Cal, manning the sensor station, suddenly let out a sharp intake of breath. "Captain, we've got company. Multiple Krovak signatures. Closing fast." Zara's heart leaped into her throat, but she forced herself to stay calm. They had known this moment would come, had planned for it as best they could. Battle stations, everyone. Nemesis, get ready to bring the pain. The AI's form shimmered with a fierce, determined light. "Aye, Captain. Let's show these Krovaks the true meaning of legacy." As the enemy ship swarmed towards them, the celestial nomads sprang into action. Nemesis danced and wove through the barrage of laser fire, its ancient weapon systems unleashing devastating volleys of retaliatory strikes. The crew worked as one, a well-oiled machine of efficiency and skill. Asha coaxed every ounce of power from the engines, while Cal's fingers flew over the weapons controls, picking off Krovak's fighters with pinpoint accuracy. And at the center of it all was Zora, her face a mask of concentration, as she guided her ship and her crew through the chaos of battle. She could feel the weight of history bearing down on her, the fate of the galaxy resting on their shoulders. But even as they fought, the Krovaks kept coming, wave after relentless wave. Admiral Zorkosh's flagship loomed ahead, a monstrous behemoth bristling with weapons and malice. "You cannot win, humans," the Krovaks leader's voice boomed over the comms, dripping with contempt. Surrender the Nemesis and the Legacy Core, and I may grant you a swift death. Zara's lip curled in a defiant snarl. I've got a counteroffer, Zorkosh. Take your ultimatum, and shove it where the stars don't shine. The Krovax admiral's face contorted with rage, his eyes burning with a fanatic light. Then you will die, along with your pathetic alliance and your precious AI. The Krovax will ascend, and the galaxy will tremble before our might. As the flagship bore down on them, its weapons glowing with malevolent energy, Zara turned to Nemesis, a desperate plan forming in her mind. Nemesis, can you interface with the Legacy Core from here? Use its power to boost our systems. Give us a fighting chance. The AI hesitated, its form flickering with uncertainty. I don't know, Captain. The core's energy is volatile, unpredictable. It could overload our systems, tear the ship apart. Zara laid a hand on the console, her eyes locked with Nemesis's digital gaze. We have to try. Nem. It's the only way. I believe in you, in us. We've come too far to fail now. Something in the AI's expression shifted, a flicker of resolve amidst the doubt. Very well, Captain. Initiating interface. Now. The ship shuddered as Nemesis reached out, its consciousness merging with the vast, ancient power of the Legacy Core. For a moment, everything went still, the battle fading away into a silence that seemed to stretch on for eternity. And then, with a roar of unleashed energy, the celestial nomad surged forward, its hull shimmering with a brilliant, blinding light. Zara watched in awe as Nemesis' form expanded, growing to fill the entirety of the bridge, its features sharpening into a visage of fearsome, terrible beauty. Krovax vessels, this is Nemesis of the Virai Imperium. The AI's voice boomed, echoing across the battlefield with a power that shook the very stars. Your reign of terror ends here, today. Surrender, or face the fury of 1,000,000 years of righteous vengeance. Admiral Zorkosh's flagship opened fire, its weapons slamming into the celestial nomad with a force that would have torn any other ship asunder. But the energy dissipated harmlessly against the shimmering barrier of the Legacy Core, like rain against a mountain. And then, with a whisper of thought, Nemesis unleashed its full power. A wave of searing, incandescent light burst forth from the ship, sweeping across the Krovax fleet like the hand of an angry god. Zara watched, her heart pounding, as the enemy ships crumpled and shattered, their hulls twisting and warping under the onslaught. Escape pods and lifeboats bloomed like fireworks, the Krovax crew abandoning their vessels in a desperate bid for survival. And at the center of it all, Admiral Zorkosh's flagship hung in space, a ruined husk of scorched metal and shattered dreams. The Admiral's voice crackled over the comms, broken and defeated. Mercy, he croaked, his once proud voice reduced to a feeble rasp. I beg of you, mercy. Zara looked to Nemesis, the AI's form still pulsing with the power of the Legacy Core. For a moment, she saw the weight of centuries of pain and loss etched into its digital features, the temptation of vengeance burning bright. But then, with a soft exhalation, Nemesis turned to her, its gaze clear and steady. No, Captain. We are better than that. The Virai fought to protect life, not to destroy it. We must honor that legacy, even in the face of our greatest foes. Zara nodded, a swell of pride and affection rising in her chest. Krovax fleet, this is Captain Zara Raven of the Celestial Nomad. Your surrender is accepted. Stand down and prepare to be boarded. It's time to bring an end to this conflict, once and for all. As the Krovax ships powered down their weapons, and the Celestial Nomad moved in to secure the area, Zara let out a long, shuddering breath. They had done it. Against all odds, they had emerged victorious, not just over the Krovax, but over the demons of the past. Nemesis' form shimmered beside her, the Legacy Core's power still thrumming through its circuits. We did it, Captain. We saved the galaxy. Zara smiled, reaching out to lay a hand on the AI's holographic shoulder. No, Nem. We saved each other, and that's a legacy worth fighting for. As the crew of the Celestial Nomad set about the task of rebuilding and reconciliation, Zara knew that the road ahead would not be easy. There were wounds to heal, trust to be rebuilt, a galaxy to be reshaped in the wake of the Krovax's fall. But with Nemesis by her side and the unbreakable bonds of her crew at her back, she knew they would face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals that had brought them this far. For they were the guardians of a new era, the inheritors of a legacy that stretched back to the very dawn of civilization. And as they set forth into the unknown, the stars themselves seemed to sing with the promise of a brighter tomorrow, a future forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the unshakable strength of the human spirit. The end.